Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Fay at 5. I'm LaTangela Fay, your hostess, and it does my heart well to have none other than the Remy Ma in the hot seat on the tan line. How are you?
Thank you. How you doing?
I'm holding on. Girl, look, I swear it's like one day at a time, one breath at a time, but I'm here and life is great, you know?
Yes, we are here. We are here. We are present. A lot of people did not make it, but I totally understand where you're coming from. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah. All has been well. I know you've been
All
busy.
is well. All is well. I can't really complain. Family is good. Work is good. I'm good. I ain't get COVID yet. God
Yeah.
knows I will never be able to handle monkeypox. Not on everything.
Everything.
I'm running from E. coli every day. Like I ain't get a flash flood. I ain't die from a heat wave. I'm just
Right.
like, well, I'm just waiting to walk out and see the wasp or the locust or whatever. What's
Girl,
next?
look, don't
Like,
talk that up. I was reading a story the other day and they were talking about some giant flying spiders. And I was like, you know what? This ain't,
what?
I cannot,
No,
I
you
cannot. And it was
lying.
like somewhere
What?
weird, like in Atlanta, a flying spider just raining.
Oh
I'm
my
like, you know
God.
what we're not going
I
to do
can't.
is that. The most excitement that I'm looking for is watching you host my true crime story on VH1. That's about the only level of excitement
Thank
my heart
you.
can take right now.
Thank you. We here. We're on the same page. We're on the same
Look,
page.
as the host of this, I know that you have those moments where you sit there and you're watching and you're a part of the process. But as you're walking us through that journey, what has been a highlight of working on this show and bringing everything to the forefront?
Um, Let me see. What has been a highlight of working on the show? I'm gonna be honest. I'd be really impressed sometimes. Even though we don't glorify crime, we don't, you know, advise you or suggest that you try any of these things at home. But just some of the things that these people were forced to do, and not, and I don't want to say forced in that way, but they were driven to do. Should I say that?
Yeah.
To make ends meet sometimes just to get by, the mastermind that it takes. Like, these are not people that are like dumb. They're really smart. Like, if you take some of these people and place them in an environment that nurtured their ability to think and how they deal with numbers and just all these
Mhm.
different things, they could really flourish and be amazing and run Fortune 500 companies.
Imagine that.
Unfortunately, they came from the bottom and they had to use these same skills that they came up with and figure out ways to commit crimes just to, be okay. I just sometimes I wonder, like, dag, imagine this woman right here who was able to figure out how you put this information on a gift card strip and go ahead. Like, if you put her in a environment that was for that, she would be amazing. And those stories always intrigue me when you get to see the level of intelligence that it is. Like, these people, they're not dumb, they just poor.
And
And they
we
just
get so desensitized most of the time. We see the crime, but we forget that good people get caught up in not such good situations.
hello.
Girls,
Hello.
I mean,
But
I'm just saying,
yeah,
right?
people do. They we're so used to the headline, the clickbait, the oh no, she did it, or no, he didn't. I
Yeah.
can't believe that. But these are real people. A lot of times these people have families. These people are going through things. They have mental issues. They have all type of, they were abused. Like, you never know what the backstory is. And that's why I love doing my true crime story, because you get that backstory. You get to know about their upbringing. You get to know what was that final straw that broke the camel's back, that sent them down that path or down that rabbit hole. So I love getting the first person account, because now you're like, oh wow, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, not necessarily like that's what I would have did too, but I
Yeah.
see now, I
Yeah.
understand, I
A
get
greater
it.
level of understanding. Not saying
Yeah,
that you're glorifying it. I love the fact that you
right.
did mention that, but it's real life. You know what I'm saying? People, we're all one decision away.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
whatever. And in however we look at it, we're all one
And,
decision away.
and what's so crazy, what I've been trying to explain to people is that, like, this system that we call the justice system, it's not designed to let the innocent go. It's not designed to find out who's innocent and who's guilty. Like, if that was the case, they wouldn't brag about conviction rates. They talk about the federal government. They have a 99.9% conviction rate. Or if somebody's running for office as a prosecutor, she had a such and such percentage conviction rate.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that doesn't mean that you think every single time they got it right, that every single person that ever went to jail, that every cop arrested the right person for what they saying they did, that every judge, every jury got it right. No, their goal is to keep their conviction rate high. Nobody's gonna be like,
Huh.
yeah, the federal government, they got a 15% conviction rate. They like that would look crazy. So
Yeah.
their goal is to convict. And once you understand that and you realize that, and you have somebody that you may have loved or knew or care about that's been touched by the system, people start looking at it a lot differently. People already have. Like I think
Yeah.
over the past couple of years, with so many people being able to film and put out what's really happening behind the scenes, people having a different outlook. And I think that's why we were able to come back for season 2 and why people are so into the show. Also, there's that redemption part that I tell you, where you get to see where they at now and how they were able to change that negative into a positive.
I love it. A good redemption story is what the world needs because, at some point we're all down on our luck one way or the other, and life never goes as scripted. Even if we write it
Mhm.
out, we come up with these little waves and these currents, and situationships get us in a lot of
Yes.
trouble at times. But with this VH1 My True Crime story, you're talking to the people, and we're seeing them versus their crime. We're
Right.
seeing how the time was spent after the fact, and you have so many impressionable minds that's watching this and knowing that they can see it in that moment about the decisions that were made. You started all saying if someone put them in the right position, they could run these
Mhm.
Fortune 500 companies. Well,
Yep.
hopefully the Fortune 500 companies are seeing that and they're not looking at the
Mhm.
people as criminals or as kids with statistic potential, but they're looking at
Right.
them as potential that say, you know what, I see that you might have this going on, maybe create more mentor programs and start nurturing those
Also, maybe
relationships.
start giving people some help, because
Yeah,
I've never seen anybody who had all their bills paid and had their kids taken care of and wasn't worried about their mortgage and wasn't worried about their car and worried about this, just gone and be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go scam somebody. Like
yeah,
you just
yeah,
don't think like that. You obviously you usually think like I have too much tools, or I'll figure something out. A lot of these stories and what I've noticed from season 1 up until now season 2, a lot of these people, they felt like they didn't have nowhere to go. They didn't have, because some of them were really young when they started. Their parents died,
yeah.
or they were, grew up in a group home, or whatever the case may have been. And I think we need to look at that, because it's not the crime that's the problem. It's most people commit crimes because they're poor,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
because their medical is poor, like, or because their housing is poor, their food is poor. It's something that's lacking.
Yep. Sad but true. I'm grateful to have you in the hot seat on the tan line. Um,
Appreciate
rumor has it you even ended up in Baton Rouge getting some of this done. Hello, welcome to the capital city. I'm glad to see you survived that as well as this heat.
it.
Season 2, My True Crime Story. Remy Ma, you are the real MVP. We will be posted
Thank
up
you.
Monday, August 29th. Getting
Thank
there
you. Thank
early
you.
so we don't miss any of this. But
Yes, yes. Be
the
on
next
point.
the next field trip, I want you to come back and tell us all about the highlights for the next season because we know it's going to be an ongoing situation for you.
Oh,
Continue to be
thank you.
responsible with your platform, and I love you. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Tan.
Anytime. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.